Hi, and welcome to Stitching with Cindy Botts. Today I want to do the second video in our series of learning new blocks using pot holders. And today's block is the windmill. So here's my windmill pot holder. I think it came out quite cute. I really like the fabric, this pink and olive green fabric is just beautiful. I don't know if it's going to show up well on the camera, but it is so sweet. And this windmill is featured in the Quilter's album of Patchwork patterns by Jinny Beyer. And I like this resource. This is what I'm going to be doing this film series out of. I'm picking public domain blocks. This is a block that was first originally published in 1897. It's a very easy pattern. It consists of flying geese and squares. Flying geese and squares. This is made up of 4 units. Here is the unit you'll be making. This is obviously a flying geese unit, and then this is just 2 squares sewn together. So very simple. Let's walk through it. You'll need to cut strips of both fabrics, A and B, at 2.5 inches wide. And some of the fabric you'll be cutting into your color A. You're going to be cutting into your 4.5 by 2.5. And that makes the center of your flying geese. So whatever color A is, you're going to be cutting 4 2.5 by 4.5 blocks per pot holder. I like to make my pot holders in sets of 2. And then for the flying geese, you're going to need to, of color B, cut 8 2.5 inch squares. And then to make the flying geese, you simply lay your square on top of your rectangle, draw your diagonal line, trim it, fold it back, press it, and then do the second one. And that's a quick flying geese. Now you're also going to need, per pot holder, 4 of the color B and 4 of the color A fabric at 2.5 inch squares, and then you just sew those 2 together, and that makes your second unit. Very simple pattern. To make the unit, you take the flying geese and the 2 square unit, and I like to use a pin for this. I use clips for a lot of things, but for this I think a pin is better. You just put a pin right where those 2 seams come together. I don't know if you can see right there where the seams make a little cross. I put my pin right in that hole where they come together, and then at 1/4 inch down on the other unit, right in that seam, right in the seam, right on the stitches. Okay, and then I just kind of fold the pin back to secure it, and there you have it. When I sew it down, I just make sure my raw edges are nice and even, and keep that nesting where it is nice and secure. Then it's just a matter of taking and pressing your unit and putting it together. I did 2 across first, and then the other 2 across, and then just sew the 4 of them together to make this cute little windmill block. Now, I don't mind that my little points are kind of cut off. If you mind that, just put another inch border around your whole block before you sew it together. They're just getting caught up because you can't just do a 1/4 inch seam once you get all the batting and stuff in your pot holder. So that's up to you, your preference. So what I usually do is I take my top of my block And I like to use 2 layers of flannel and 1 layer of Insulbright in my pot holders. Taking the top, I put it on a layer of flannel, and then I quilt just the top to the layer of flannel. Okay, it's just a lot less bulk going through my machine, and I think it still has a nice quilted look. And if you want to put a little quilting in the center after you get it all together, that's up to you to hold all the layers together, but I think it works out great this way. So then, laying my quilted top down, I put my backing. Here's a better shot of that fabric. I just think it's awesome. With right sides together, I put my backing fabric down, then a layer of my flannel, then a layer of my Insulbright, and I sew around using a little larger seam than the 1/4 inch, just going out in just a little bit more. Just make sure I have all the layers. You leave a nice big opening so that you can turn this right side out. Go ahead and tuck in those raw edges. Make sure you push your corners out so you get a nice finished look. Now, if you want to add a loop, I usually use a 2.5 inch strip, which I fold into the center and then fold into the center again. And right before I put all my layers together, I just sew it onto the top. Then I assemble my layers and good to go. Then I just simply, after I get all my raw edges tucked in and pressed, I just sew around with a nice top stitching, and there's your pot holder all ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you didn't see the first one, I hope you do check out our editor pot holder, and that was again an easy block using half square triangles and flying geese. And I'm very excited about this series and learning all these different blocks and how they're constructed. If you want a copy of the pattern for the windmill pot holder, shoot me an email request, and that is the Stitcher's Choice Workspace at gmail.com. You have a great night. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends. We'll see you soon. Bye now.